Hi everyone!
Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Nice to see you.
Today we would like to speak about the aura of twin flames. I feel it's a topic that hasn't been very much expanded, and it's quite interesting actually. It's based on our observations on ourselves and other people. It is interesting to see the twin flame aura.
Sorry, it makes sense with everything that we've been speaking so far, and it's just the cherry on the cake. Also, of course, many people have different auras, but within twin flames, it's not going to be any different from other people, but the magical part is between the couple.
Exactly. Now, aura can be classified in many different ways. For example, human design has its own classification of aura, depending on the type of person. But we're gonna speak a little bit more broad here. And in our observations, it is very typical that the aura of the one twin flame is the aura of a healer, and the other very often has the aura of the one bringing the new. It is spoken a lot about the indigo children, the crystal children, and so on and so forth. I kind of feel this is almost like outdated, this information.
Yeah.
Because there's many new aura types that have already come with the new generations. There's of course the rainbow, you know about this, but there's also the golden aura and many others. I have been working a little bit with children as well from time to time, and it is extremely interesting to observe the new that they're bringing in. And of course the bringing of the new started quite a few generations backwards. It's not something new happening on this realm, and usually it's very typical that one of the twin flames will carry the aura of bringing the new. There's a lot spoken about this, how the indigo, for example, are the ones who almost are like the rebels. They are the ones who have come to take down the old, so that we can be prepared as humanity as a whole for the new. And the crystal aura is the one already starting to bring the new, but there's a lot of other perspectives of the new already, and that's why it was needed for humanity generally to have all these kind of different type of people with different auras.
I was thinking, I don't know if it's correct, because in the US we have this classification between generations, the boomer and things like this, and then there's the generation Z. I think it's in a way to classify spiritually what people are as they come, but of course people are not spiritual in most countries. They classify them like this. But because there is a very big difference between how a person reacts from this generation and 10 years later,
Yes.
They are totally different. So it's the same language, we have the same language everywhere, we just have different terms, but we are meaning the same thing. And now even between the crystal children, or, I mean, we say children, but even a 50-year-old person will still be...
Yes, that's why I was more like saying the crystal aura.
Yeah, crystal aura. It's
because
you know,
we are always a child. The child within is always
yes.
within
Well,
us.
the inner child can be indigo, or can be crystal, or rainbow, or something like this. But even between the crystal and between the indigo and between the rainbow, they can be born with a a polarity that is a predominant yin or a predominant yang. I
Of
believe.
course, of course. This has the two are not excluding each other.
Yes, it's just a different thing.
Yes, exactly.
I just want to say something else, that all my life I thought that the polarity, yin or yang, it's not like how we are born, it's how we see life. And that's why I have been mistaken who I am the whole time, because I see life the opposite of who I am. And I think this is true and valid for everyone.
But that's the concept of the yin-yang polarity.
It's exactly so.
I still don't know. I didn't go to check if I made this video in English, and maybe we make it.
Maybe,
because it's
it doesn't
extremely
matter.
interesting.
We need to make an update.
We should stop thinking that yin is feminine, like a fixed thing, and yang is masculine, because the things are a little bit more deep.
It's quite deep. Yeah, we have a very big wrong assumption of how the yin-yang works. Even if you are familiar with the Chinese circadian rhythms and the polarities they explain, and even their medicine, you still are gonna find out that it's not the way that we're supposed to see things. It's
right. It's not good and bad. There's good and bad in everything, in the yin and in the yang. So think this way, that direction. Now, moving on with our topic about the hour of the twin flames. This reflects a lot the twin flame journey, because in our case, for example, I already studied energy healing before meeting Andre, and I am still quite actively working with the Choose energy healing. You might want to take a look online. It's extremely interesting, and you can learn it yourself. There's a list of all the teachers there. And he got attracted to it as well after meeting me. And this is where I would like to make a note that we should not take that the one twin flame is just a healer and the other is whatever. They both cover both things and other concepts as well. And we exchange roles many times. However, it will be predominantly, let's say, for the one to be more focused on that and the other to be more focused on the other.
Yeah.
Now, we would like also to speak about the aura, depending the yin-yang polarity that we just mentioned, because even though we both have both energies within ourselves, the one of the twin flame couple will have a more active yin role, and the other will have a more active yang role.
Yes, and we understood it is deeper than what we are going to speak about, but we understood that, for example, just like what we were speaking before, I had the wrong assumption of who I was. So, for example, a yin person obviously will look the world more inwards, but for some reason I was looking the world more outwards, and until I met Patty, I understood that actually I am very much looking inwards. I don't know why I didn't see that coming. And as I see you, I saw you the opposite, but probably you saw yourself correct, because
I did.
yeah, your energy anyways, it's in a way that you observe things to be.
Well, they say that projectors are not usually able very well to see themselves correctly, but
to some extent I think you're able to do that, just not like perfectly and everywhere. I even know how to write for you, to draw you how you see yourself. I had this download. I will do for you.
Okay, I would love to see. So yes, definitely the yang part of the twin flame will be more focused outwards, and the yin more inwards. For example, what was our example? You are more focused really on ourselves, on our growth and our journey, and even how we should eat and stuff
Our
like
health
this, our health. And I'm constantly focused on the outside world, on the people that come to us. Usually it's me more actively communicating with them, and
how to use our perception. You are very good at this. How to be more
yeah.
how to put yourself in other people's shoes so that we understand each other in this world. I'm telling this. As me was more like how to move this body properly to the fullest potential. How to unlock its secrets.
So the yin part will be the one who will be taking care of what to do for ourselves, for our own gain, well-being. And the yang will be usually the one wanting to help the others, to think of the others, even the ones who are close to us, friends, family.
Yes.
Sometimes it's exhausting for both sides, but that's because we have different focus, and it's normal.
And then this is the last part, and it is the most interesting. Don't get wrong assumptions. Just see it in the highest potential way.
That's
possible.
when we are on our extreme, I think.
Yes, I think when we are in our extreme, the young energy, the people who have predominant young energy, they attract chaos and aggression. We will go in that just a moment. As the yin indicates being more, not more, being powerless and uncertainty.
Yeah, not certain in themselves.
Yes.
Like not believing in themselves. I've seen that in many young people, indeed. When you are at your best, you have
It's the opposite, isn't it?
Trust in yourself, but when you're not in your fullest potential, you really tend to go down. And me too, when I go too much on really wanting to expand and focus too much on the outside world, I do start to attract chaos. That's true.
And it's not that she becomes chaotic, it's very different. It's just the situation that presents itself becomes chaotic, and it depends on many circumstances what it is and stuff like this.
For example, the unwanted good, to do unwanted good. That's exactly an example of this. Usually this attracts eventually aggressive, or even if it's not to that extent, like aggressiveness, it will be a negative reaction in a way. And we're like, but I wanted just to do good. Like, I didn't want to harm anyone. That's exactly because of this.
Yeah, but if it is not invited, it becomes the opposite effect.
No one is insured from this, even the young people, but it's more rare to see it within the yin energy. We tend to jump in too much sometimes. In the yin parts, you guys really should believe in yourselves more, because you are amazing. Many times we associate the yin energy with the darkness, but the darkness within ourselves, it also means gentleness, coolness, relax. That's the calm energy if we use it correctly, and it can give us a lot of benefits. Too much yang, too much, going on the positive even, it brings in anxiety eventually, as strange as it can sound, but it does. It can trigger a state within our body when we're constantly agitated, like needing to do something, to be active about something, and this exhausts us eventually, and sometimes all of a sudden we collapse and we don't know where it came from. That's where exactly it came from. So the young people need to focus a little bit more within themselves as well, just to balance things. So if the twin flame couple, they can figure out somehow who is more on the yang, who is more on the yin. If the yang focuses a little bit more towards themselves, they really bring in infinite joy. And if the yin also is able to focus a little bit outwards in terms of giving a little bit more, because the giving part is usually the yang part, and the yin is more like preserving. But if the yin learns and tries to apply a little bit more giving, doesn't need to be like all
Just
the time,
a little bit.
just a little bit, you will feel much better.
Plus, it depends how deep yin and how deep yang you are. You will never know properly by yourself, because we have been there. It's not easy to figure out, but we know how to do that. How to figure out how much depth a person.
Yeah,
well,
approximately.
But for themselves, it's very, very difficult, because you know how we figure out things. We had to hack the system. Because not only you have to use astrology, but you have to use a different way of astrology to figure out this. Anyways, if you are...
It can be seen also energetically.
Yes.
Through the aura.
It's just that if the person has a wrong perception in their brains, again, they can get interfered. You really have to let go of everything.
Well, it depends. For example, on the Choose Energy Healing, the 4th level that we passed, it really gives us the opportunity to go on the neutral state.
You're right.
And tapping into the pure consciousness allows you to be able to see things objectively, like realistically, more like.
You see, it needs specific environments to be able to achieve this. It's not just like, okay, I feel I'm like this.
Because otherwise, you're right, we tend to be more subjective.
Yes. And when we are open to suggestions, you know how it is. The mind starts to spill out the beans and becomes too much information. But yes, so if you are too much yin, you will probably be a little bit less able to give as much. And if you are too much yang, you will probably give a ton. And vice versa. And that's about it.
There's a lot more that can be said about the aura of the twin flame couple, but I think we wrap it up here.
Yes, not to become too much information.
Exactly, and I hope it was interesting to you.
Thank you for everyone who has bought our ebook. It has helped a lot, and also it will help you tremendously to understand what's going on. We are also planning to write another one, which is going to be totally different, but we don't have any dates, nothing. We just have the design.
Probably after we finish with our kitchen.
Yes.
And make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. Love you guys.
Love you. Ciao, ciao.